Hey guys, this is part 2 of my series, So You Want to Be a Powerlifter. In this video I'm going to talk about equipment you will need along your powerlifting journey if you plan on sticking with it for a number of years. Things you should get. So guys, before I get into that topic, I want to encourage you to stick around the end of this video, find out how you can reach me, the big hairy ugly dude, with your questions and or comments. So let's talk about powerlifting gear. There's like 11 things I recommend you probably get if you're going to stick with powerlifting for a while. You want to have them in your gym bag so you can take them with you if you're on the road training with other guys, just in case, or you always have them at home or at the gym or whatever happens. You want to always have these handy just in case. If you're training on the road, you also want to have them in your gym bag for meets, etc. So here we go. Let's get started. 11 things you should consider getting if you want to be a powerlifter. First thing is knee wraps. There's 2 sets of knee wraps I recommend. A light knee wrap and a stiff knee wrap. The light knee wrap I use during warm-ups. It's from Ricky Dale Crane. You can Google that. He sells a Genesis 2.5 meter knee wrap for about 30 bucks. You can wear this during warm-ups. Keep it, I don't put it super tight. I keep it moderately tight, and I can wear it during my entire warm-up sets. I don't have to unwrap it, which can become a pain, when you're using super tight wraps, which I'm going to get into in a second. You have to typically unwrap those after every set. But these Crane light wraps, a Genesis 2.5 meter, you can leave them on for your entire warm-up. So I recommend getting those for warm-ups, for your warm-up sets. Next, you want to get a stiff pair of knee wraps. I recommend the Anderson KLA 2000s. Go to Google Ken Anderson Powerlifting, and in his knee wrap section, you want to look for the KLA 2000s. Those cost 27 bucks. They're a great deal. I use them, and I couldn't be happier. Next, while you're at Anderson Powerlifting, you want to get some wrist wraps. They're 18 bucks. They're called the KLA 2000s. KLA 2000s, same as the knee wraps. These are quality wrist wraps. They're extremely durable, and they'll serve you well on benching and pressing. The next thing I recommend getting for yourself is a good pair of deadlifting shoes like Chuck Taylor's. You can go to Converse online and design your own. You can design anything you want, all kinds of crazy madness. The big hairy ugly dude just wears black Chucks. We call them Chucks. Those run about 50 to 60 bucks online before shipping. You want these shoes, or this type of shoe, for deadlifting because it has a flat sole. It'll get you down as close as possible to the ground. And these I use for meets and for training. So you want a good deadlift shoe. Optional is a deadlift sock, a good deadlift sock. You want some kind of a sock to wear that comes up right below your knees when you're deadlifting. Some of these deadlift bars in competition are super cheese graters, and they'll rip your shins apart. So you want a good sock so you're not leaving all kinds of blood on the platform. You can find a good deadlift. You can find deadlift socks on Amazon for about 10 bucks, or you can just get the old-fashioned white high socks, that are real cheap. Buy a bunch of those and keep those in your gym bag. You want to have those in your gym bag for those spontaneous times when you feel like deadlifting, like the big hairy ugly dude. So next up, we're going to talk about the Ram. You might have heard about the slingshot made by Mark Bell. I'm going to recommend the Ram, which is a similar product. You can get it at Anderson Powerlifting. Anderson Powerlifting. The basic Ram is 50 bucks. The Super Ram is 65 bucks. Basically, this is a thing you put over your arms when you're benching, and it'll allow you to overload your bench, add more weight. This is good for heavy training. Now, even if you don't use this on a regular basis, even if you choose not to use a Ram or Super Ram or bench press assistance device on a regular basis, I still highly recommend getting it and getting one and putting it in your gym bag. And here's why. You occasionally have those bench workouts where your shoulders feel off or your biceps feel off or something in your upper body doesn't feel right. So even if you're not using a Ram or Super Ram or slingshot on a constant basis, on those days when you feel like crap, you want to pull this out of your gym bag, slap it on. It'll help you train a little bit better. It'll help you train a little bit more efficiently when you're training with those minor strains and pains. So you want to have You want to have a ram or slingshot for those days when your upper body just doesn't feel right. Slap it on, you'll get a good workout. Next up, a thing to consider is elbow sleeves. Kids, elbow sleeves. Keep those elbows warm, keep those elbows loose. It's good for benching. You can find a good pair of Inzers for $55. There's plenty of other elbow sleeves on the market. If you're a big guy like the big hairy ugly dude, you might want to get some knee sleeves for your elbows, kids. Next up is the obvious, singlets. You will need a powerlifting singlet. Again, I'm going to refer to Anderson Powerlifting because I feel like they have the best service in the industry, and I support them. I love their service, so I'm going to keep pimping them out in this video. You can get a singlet on Amazon for Anderson Powerlifting for 40 to 50 bucks. If you don't like their styles, there's plenty of other places on the internet. You can just Google powerlifting singlet or wrestling singlet. Or you can go to eBay. You can find some funky custom designs on eBay for singlets. So, but those can run up to 70, 80 bucks. So the Anderson ones, again, are only 40 to 50 bucks. Next thing for your gym bag, kids, is chalk. And this is a cheapie. You can buy a block. You can buy 8 blocks of chalk, which come in a box, for only 12 bucks, kids. Only 12 bucks. And I bought a box of 8 blocks 4 years ago. I'm only on block 2. This stuff lasts forever. So you want to keep a block of chalk in your gym bag for those spontaneous workouts when you decide to drive to Wisconsin to deadlift with the big, hairy, ugly dude. Another thing I recommend is a bottle of nose torque or ammonia. Ricky Dale Crane sells these bottles of nose torque for $6. You see the guys at powerlifting meets taking a whiff, all of a sudden they're like, wow, it wakes them up, it kicks them in the ass, kicks them in the balls. It's a good thing to keep in your gym bag, and it's cheap, only $6, guys. Another obvious and another cheapie is some kind of a heating rub, like Tiger Balm or Bengay or whatever. There's tons of heating rubs. You want to keep one of those in your gym bag, just so you can slap it on on a muscle when you feel off or feel tight or feel sore or whatever. It helps you stay warm, keep warm, so on and so forth. And the last thing for this video, guys, you need to consider, and some of you guys are just going to go raw and not have a belt, but I think it's a good idea to keep a belt and practice with it. You might find it beneficial, you might not. But if you do get a power belt, or you do get a belt, I want you to get a power belt. And here's what I recommend. You have a 4-inch height on that belt, okay? That's what you want, about a 4-inch height. And for the thickness, you want 10 millimeter. There's 10 millimeter and there's 13 millimeter. Most of you guys won't need a 13 millimeter. That's the thickness of the belt. Most of you guys don't want a super thick belt, don't need a super thick belt. So get a 4-inch height, a 10 millimeter thickness. And these are usually, if you go to a good place on the internet, a powerlifting belt, these are custom made for your waist. So, if you Google powerlifting belts or power belts, you want to make sure you contact the people and make sure you have you're measuring at the proper location so you get this belt fitted correctly. But again, most of them are custom made for you kids, and they run about $90. So it's going to be one of the most expensive things you buy, but it's durable. The expensive stuff you're buying, guys, is typically pretty darn durable. My knee wraps, my wrist wraps, my power belt, my singlets, all that kind of stuff, it just lasts and lasts. You're not using the singlet very often, so it's going to serve you for quite a long time. The belt holds up extremely well. My wrist wraps and knee wraps are holding up well. The only thing that I really have to constantly replace is my shoes. About every 6 months they go to heck. So guys, overall, all these things, knee wraps, light and heavy, wrist wraps, deadlift shoes, deadlift socks or high socks, a benching assistance device like the slingshot, the ram, or the super ram, elbow sleeves to keep your elbows warm, a powerlifting singlet for competition day, chalk, ammonia caps, heating rub, and a power belt. All this stuff is going to run you about $400 to $425. A lot of cash, but if you're going to be competing for the next 10 years, you gotta have it. So I recommend saving up, buying all this stuff, keeping it in your gym bag. So guys, hope this video has been of some help. If you have any questions or comments for the big, hairy, ugly dude, there is a link below to a forum Q&A. Come on over, ask me any questions you want on strength training, muscle building, diet, nutrition, supplementation, motivation, or how to grow a perfect beard. So guys, look for more videos in this series coming up. And as always, thanks for watching. Have a great day.